What is going on, everybody? I'm Jaby, a.k.a. the Italian Job, joined by Syntell.
Wait a minute, you got to warn me when you start bringing out them joints, yo. Hey, what's going down, man?
It is early in the morning, and we're going to watch Airplane together. Thanks so much for joining us. So if you guys are watching this on YouTube, you'll see a cut-down version of our reaction because we can only show you a limited amount of picture-in-picture. But if you want to watch the whole thing with us, no cuts, no interruptions, head over to our Patreon. Whoa. We were just talking about flubbing words. Head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/JabyKuwait, or become a member of this channel where you'll get access to the full uncut reaction, but you'll need your own copy of the film. We're watching this on HBO Max, so many of you guys have that subscription. You can open up the movie in an adjacent window to our reaction. We'll give you a 3, 2, 1 countdown sync. I cannot speak for the life of me. We'll give you a 3, 2, 1 countdown sync, and it'll be like you're watching it with two of your favorite cinepals from the internet. Now, if you're watching this on Patreon or memberships with us already, thanks so much for supporting us here. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscribe button.
You got it. I was rooting for you, dog. I was like, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it.
Hit the subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications, and pretty please vote this up. Let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. Okay. I should say, in case it's not painfully obvious from the title, this is my first time watching this movie. And Syntell, it's essentially his first time watching this film because he hasn't seen this film since he was a baby. So, here we go.
The white zone is for immediate loading and unloading of passengers.
I've only gone on one date with an air stewardess.
The white zone.
Although
those free miles.
It was a girl that I went on a date with 10 years after like losing touch with her.
Hello.
And I went out with her 10 years ago before that. So technically I dated her for a little bit.
No, but thank you anyway.
So technically I dated an air stewardess for a little bit.
Would you put all your metal objects into this dish, please?
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
We both know perfectly well what it is you're talking about. You want me to have an abortion.
Oh my God.
Just right out there, right with it.
Taxi! I'll be back in a minute.
Is he charging? He's charging for that time.
Hey, Larry, where's the forklift? Forklift! It's over there with the baggage load.
Oh my God.
That there is a practical.
I came home early and found your note. I guess you meant for me to read it later.
I just don't want to go over it anymore.
I know things haven't been right for a long time, but it'll be different.
It takes so many things to make love last. Most of all, it takes respect.
Dang.
And I can't live with the man I don't respect.
All
What a pisser. This is Captain Over.
Go ahead with your call.
This is Dr. Brody at the Mayo Clinic.
There's a passenger on your Chicago flight
They
209,
really got
a little
Mayo.
girl named Lisa Davis, en route to Minneapolis. She's scheduled for a heart transplant.
Oh my God.
We found a donor an hour ago.
Must have the recipient on the operating table within 6 hours.
I want you to make sure that she's kept in a reclined position.
It's very important that she remain calm.
Excuse me, this is the operator, Captain Over. I have an emergency call for you on line 5 from a Mr. Ham.
All right, give me Ham on 5. Hold the mail.
Hold the Mayo.
When I get back to Chicago, I'm going to start my life all over again. I'm sorry.
Now, TA is like a spoof on TWA back in the day.
We'd like you to have this flower from the Church of Religious Conscience.
Any word on that storm lifting over Salt Lake, Clarence?
No, not likely, Victor. I just reviewed the area report for
Look at JJ.
1,600 hours through 2,400.
I didn't even know he had a little cameo on this. That's hilarious.
Hey, what about that southern route around Tulsa?
He's checking the oil?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Roger. Glad to have you aboard. Victor, this is Roger Murdoch, Victor Basta.
How do you do, Roger?
Nice to meet you. Roger, I was telling Victor, I reviewed the area report for 1,600 hours through 2,400.
You remember those old school card readers back in the day?
Yeah. I had to work one of those once. That was a bitch.
Can you tell me if Elaine Dickinson is on this flight?
Oh, yeah, she is on board.
I'd like one ticket to Chicago. No baggage.
This dude is still waiting in the taxi.
Decision to proceed is yours.
Shit, man. That hunky muffin mess with my old lady got to be running cold upside down his head.
No, he ain't gonna lay no more big rap up on you, man.
I say, hey, Sky. Subba say I won't sing. Pray to Jay, I did the same old, same old.
Knock yourself a pro slick. The gray matter back, lot performers down. I take to
To get that booty yak 'em. Leg her down and smack 'em, yak 'em. Cold got to be. You know?
I wish I could watch that scene I want to hear what they're saying and then I want to read the subtitles after, but I was like so intently focused on the subtitles.
209er, taxi to runway 19er.
Goodbye, darling.
Have your picture taken the minute you get.
Hurry.
Oh, but it's your watch. You shouldn't. You're gonna need this.
It's all right. It doesn't work.
Where'd the crowd come from?
Put me all the time. I swear to you.
Darling, take care of yourself. Goodbye.
Flight 209er, you are cleared for takeoff.
Roger. Huh?
I remember when we first met. It was during the war. I was in the Air Force, stationed in Drambuie off the Barbary coast. I used to hang out at the Magumba Bar, populated with every reject and cutthroat from Bombay to Calcutta. It's worse than Detroit.
It's worse than Detroit.
You could count on a fight breaking out almost every night.
Golly. Hit the camera.
But that night, fate was on my side.
Why? Oh my God.
What was it? Saturday Night Fever? Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
The movie?
It probably came out just before this.
Yeah. They really tossed it him.
But enough about me. I hope this hasn't been boring for you.
Oh my
It's just that
God,
whenever
that's
I start
dark.
to talk about Lane,
Excuse me. I happened to be passing. I thought you might like some coffee.
Well-dressed children make me nervous.
I want you to sit down. Thank you. Cream? No, thank you. I take it black. Like my man.
What the fuck?
You see the way you looked at her.
We have a visitor.
Hello. Hi. Joey, we have something here for our special visitors. Would you like to have it?
Thank you.
You ever been in a cockpit before?
No, sir, I've never been up in a plane before.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
Do you want me to check the weather, Clarence?
So random.
You ever hang around a gymnasium?
We better get back now, Joey.
No, Joey can stay here for a while if you'd like.
Could I? Okay, if you don't get in the way.
Flight 209er.
That's so dark.
Wait a minute. I know you. You're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You play basketball for the Los Angeles Lakers.
She must have me confused with someone else. My name is Roger Murdoch. I'm the co-pilot.
I think you're the greatest, but my dad says you don't work hard enough on defense.
God.
And that you don't really try, except during the playoffs.
The hell I don't. Listen, kid. I'm out there busting my buns every night. Tell your old man to drag Walton and Lanier up and down the court for 48 minutes.
You like movies about gladiators?
The guy's so creepy.
Do you mind if I talk to your daughter?
I think that'd be nice.
I thought maybe you'd like to hear a song.
I'd love to.
Voices inside me, and they told me again and again.
Jesus.
A little late tonight. We've been waiting for you.
What's to be first?
Go ahead, Clarence. I got it.
Yeah, after the war, I just wanted to get as far away from things as possible. So Elaine and I joined the Peace Corps.
I always forget his name, but he's got like
James Hong.
He's got like 400 titles under his name or something like that.
Yeah, he plays Poe's dad in Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
He's also from Big Trouble in Little China, I think.
Yeah.
Go on for hours, but I'd probably start to bore you. You know, I really couldn't blame
my God.
She wanted a career.
Oh, I can't stand it.
What is it?
Oh.
Yes?
Oh, it's my stomach. Felt this awful since we saw that Ronald Reagan film.
Captain, one of the women passengers is very sick.
Find out if there's a doctor on board as quietly as you can.
I think the man sitting next to me is a doctor.
Excuse me, sir. I'm sorry I have to wake you. You a doctor?
That's right.
Hey.
The OG.
Let me see your tongue. You'd better tell the captain we've got to land as soon as we can. This woman has to be gotten to a hospital.
A hospital? What is it?
It's a big building with patients, but that's not important right now.
Victor, we're running into some heavy weather. Can you... Roger, take over.
Look, he got the goggles on.
And the shorts.
Doctor, there are 2 more sick people, and the rest of the passengers are worried.
We'll take care of the passengers. This is Captain Over speaking. Been a little bumpy up here, but we'll be past it in a few minutes. A couple points of interest. We're now flying over Hoover Dam.
Dragging the pilots by.
Meanwhile, relax and enjoy your flight, okay?
Dr. Rumick, Mr. Hammond ate fish, and Randy said there are 5 more cases, and they all had fish too.
Now we know what we're up against. Every passenger on this plane who had fish for dinner will become violently ill in the next half hour.
Just us.
From there, the poison goes to work on the central nervous system, causing severe muscle spasms, followed by the inevitable drooling.
It's the sound.
There it is. This is Elaine Dickinson. I'm the stewardess. Captain Over's passed out on the floor, and we've lost the co-pilot. The navigator, too. We're in terrible trouble. Over.
Roger, Elaine. Roger, I read you. This is Steve McCroskey at Chicago Air Control.
Back to you in a minute.
The life of everyone on board depends upon just one thing. Finding someone back there who can not only fly this plane, but who didn't have fish for dinner.
By the way, is there anyone on board who knows how to fly a plane?
Oh my God. Wow.
Hello, I'm Paul Carey from the airline. I'm here to pick up Captain Kramer.
Oh, yes. Come in, Paul. Rex will be right out. I'll bet you have exciting things happen all the time down there.
Real.
Well, airline business does have its
Too
moments, but
accurate.
He gets so excited when new people are here. Are you a pilot yourself?
No, I'm in.
Airport management, the FAA, and the airlines. Oh, cheats and liars. All right, let's get out of here.
People and their dogs sometimes, man.
When they built those roads, they had no thought of drainage in mind. So we had to take
Oh my God. You cannot do these jokes anymore. Oh my God.
Excuse me, sir. There's been a little problem in the cockpit.
The cockpit? What is it?
It's the little room in the front of the plane where the pilots sit. Do you know anything about planes?
Well, I flew in the war, but that was years ago. I wouldn't know anything about it.
Would you go up, please?
God. What the hell happened?
He still lit himself on fire.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious.
I am.
And don't call me Shirley.
Shirley.
I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Stewardess, please let me handle this.
I've got to get out.
What?
Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Doctor, you're wanted on the phone.
What?
Sister, please, I'll handle this.
I've got to get out of here.
What?
All right, Steve, let's face a few facts.
And you'll have to talk them onto the approach. So help me, you'll have to talk them right down to the ground.
Very well. Put Stryker on the speaker. Stryker, this is Captain Rex Kramer speaking. First, I want you to get the feel of the plane. Later, we'll run down the landing procedure.
What?
Let's engage the automatic pilot. Now watch out you don't make any violent control movements like you did in the fighter plane.
All right, I'm going to unlock the automatic pilot.
What the hell happened outside? Why?
It's just random explosion.
What's going on? We have a right to know the truth.
There's no reason to panic.
I know that right now things must look pretty rough up there, but you do what I tell you. When I tell you to do it, there's no reason why you shouldn't have complete confidence in your chances to come out of this thing alive.
What the hell?
Mrs. Over, this is Ed Macias calling from the airport. There's some trouble on your husband's flight. We don't know how serious it is yet, but Steve McCroskey thought you'd want to get down
horse?
right away.
Yes, I'll be right down.
It's so random.
I've got to go to the airport. You can let yourself out the back door. There's juice in the refrigerator.
Is that a?
That's a real horse, my guy.
That's a real horse.
Yeah, you know how dangerous that is.
How you doing, honey?
Jack, I'm so hot, I'm burning up.
I'll turn on some air.
That's exactly how those vents be on planes, though, man. You be like, word?
Who's flying the plane? One of the passengers. But he's an experienced Air Force pilot who flew during the war.
Ice cream?
What kind of plane is it?
Oh, it's a big, pretty white plane with red stripes and curtains in the window and wheels, and it looks like a big Tylenol.
Let's get some pictures.
I want the one with the buckle woman.
I wasn't expecting that.
Listen to me, Kramer. Dr. Rumack says the sick people are in critical condition, and every minute counts. We've got to land now.
I'm ordering you to stay up there.
No dice, Chicago. I'm giving the orders, and we're coming in.
I'm ordering you to stay up there.
How soon do we land? Oh, it won't be long now. Try not to worry.
Your husband and the others are alive, but unconscious.
Just like Gerald Ford.
No.
Wow.
That isn't much of a chance, is it?
I don't know, Lynn. I don't know. But we're doing everything we can. Now, excuse me, huh?
Where did you get that dress? It's awful, and those shoes and that. Oh, jeez.
Oh, wow.
Tell them the gear is down and we're ready to land.
The gear is down, and we're ready to land.
All right, he's on final now. Put out all runway lights except Niner.
Captain. Maybe we ought to turn on the searchlights now.
That's just what they'll be expecting us to do.
What?
What?
Land too fast, use your emergency brakes. Red handle's right in front of you. If that doesn't stop you.
Yo, she broke character a little bit. You see that?
All right, now everybody, get in crash position.
3 degrees of flap.
Yo, get your man.
Just kidding. He's coming right at us! A brake! Hold the right handle!
I just want to tell you both good luck. We're all counting on you.
Flight 209 now arriving Gate 8. Gate 9. Gate 10.
Push your button!
You know how many times I've used that meme with him sweating?
That's so stupid.
Stryker, you all right?
Yeah.
Ted, that was probably the lousiest landing in the history of this airport. Loneliness, that's the bottom line. I was never happy as a child. Christmas, Ted, what is it? Municipal bonds, Ted. I'm talking AA rating.
What the How did it get off the ground?
Absolute madness.
I had more fun with that than I thought I would. I don't think that there's much to like critique with this kind of a movie other than I had fun. Like, what can I say? I'm not a stand-up comic. I'm not a comedy writer. I just like, you know what I mean? It's like, how do you take a cinephile approach to a movie like Airplane other than that was fantastic? You know?
Yeah.
Did it make you laugh? Yeah, it made me laugh quite a bit. There were unexpected jokes in there. There were some that were just so strange that it's like, I guess the absurdity is just kind of what makes you laugh. Like when they're looking at the radar, and then at the end of the shot or at the back of the shot, like there's the guy who's like pulling clothes out of a dryer. It's just weird. Or when what's his name from Unsolved Mysteries is smoking and he throws a cigarette out the window and it explodes.
It explodes.
Like what? Why? But I think one of my favorite bits was the other guy who you thought was from Unsolved Mysteries, who was like, I sure quit the wrong week to quit smoking, and like, and it just kept getting more absurd. I sure picked the wrong time to quit amphetamines. I'm like, what the fuck? And then sniffing glue. And then he's like upside down.
Yeah, man. You mean poking phone of PTSD, poking phone of deleting yourself from this world. Every time you told the story and somebody's trying to delete themselves from the world. It's like, dang. My man, what was it called? Seppuku?
Seppuku.
Yeah, seppuku.
Yeah. Well, I think that's also kind of making fun of like it's an exaggeration of the feeling you feel in real life. You know, just like even down to the little text where it's like kind of showing you the Spanish version, but like as if you have an American brain, it's kind of like how you read it. It's just sort of silly. Like there are so many instances I remember as a kid where someone will tell me like the Spanish version of something, and I'm like, that's basically the same thing in English, isn't it? You just added like law or something at the beginning of it. I can't.
Spanglish
or L.
It's like
or, you know, like you add EL at the beginning of something, and it's basically now it's Spanish. I'm like, that's the same thing as the English word. That's not always the case. I understand. I'm speaking very ignorantly right now, and I get that. The jive talking thing was so hilarious to me because they gave you the white translation. Now, when you were hearing that, were you reading the subtitles or were you listening to them?
I was doing both because like some of it is gibberish. It's not full.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Like,
I was wondering how much of that
It's
was
like-
just made up sounds.
Yeah, it's like 75%. I say is like actual words, and the other 25 he's just mumbling. Yeah, but still, it's about the context of it. That was great.
Yeah, and then the white lady coming out and speaking jive also just like that tickled me.
Oh man, you know one an inappropriate joke that tickled me was when old girl was like, "I can't stand it. I gotta get off this plane," and they're shaking. Oh, this is so inappropriate. Get control of yourself. I shouldn't be laughing at that.
No,
That's
it's
horrible.
fine. It's fine. But it was always like the unexpected. That's what always got me. Like when Leslie Nielsen was talking to the air stewardess, and she's like, "I'm not even married," and then the lady comes out. She's like, "I'm not doing too great. I'm really afraid, but at least I've got a husband." Like, the worst possible timing.
Hold on. You know what that made me laugh a lot harder than I really didn't think is that same lady, the same stewardess, and she was like, you know, when she borrowed the guitar, was going to sing the little song, and she snatched the IV out of the old girl's arm. She's over there like, I laughed way too hard at that. That shouldn't have been as funny as it was. Oh man.
And then like when they were in the flashback sequence, and it's like, oh, there's always a fight breaking out. It's two Girl Scouts. But then like they did this great unexpected thing again where it's that romantic moment at the end of the night and the two main characters are dancing and then one of the Girl Scouts gets tossed onto the floor. It's like the last part of the fight. Just to ruin the moment.
Yeah, man, but you know, it was a different cut of comedy back then, man.
Yeah, I mean that's worlds away from us now. There's half the jokes in this movie you can't do anymore.
No.
I watched Blazing Saddles for the first time a couple months ago, and I'm like, yo, like there are so many jokes here you can't do anymore. I think the one that stands out to me that I will always keep with me is the bit with the dog. Because I hate when I go to someone's house and they're like, oh yeah, he's just saying hi. He's just saying hi. It's like he's jumping all over me and it's a big dog. He's making me anxious. It's like, come on. It's like I get that you like the dog, but you don't know if I might have a fear.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, no, I believe that. Yeah, for real. I can well for the audience, for the subscribers.
Yeah.
Probably about like 6 years old or something, like the first time I saw this. And this honestly was probably one of the very first movies that I could conceptualize a comedic hit, because it used to come on like TBS all the time. It was like, it used to show, I think it came out like 1980. I was way too young to watch it in the theater, but I remember it used to always be like on TBS and stuff. And I remember like the feeling like this was the go-to joke that everybody went to was Airplane. It was always Airplane. So it was like, it's good to kind of like get back to the context. Like I said, I haven't seen it in God knows like 40 years. You know, it's been a really long time since I've seen this movie. And it surprisingly holds up. Surprisingly.
That's exactly, you beat me to it. Like I was actually surprised at how well it holds up. I mean, there's some jokes that are just gonna fly over our heads because it's like it's outdated, and some of the references are things that are not relevant anymore. But I mean, what I wonder more than anything is how edgy the jokes were for the time that this movie came out in, because it almost feels like some of these jokes are edgier now than they would have been back then.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head. I think that's exactly what it is, because there was a style of comedy in the '80s, like movies that came out like Nerds, Revenge of the Nerds, Porky's, Meatballs, you know, Caddyshack, you know, that era of comedy. It was considered like par for the course to have like potty humor and very overly misogynistic humor and very racist humor and stuff like that. But we lived in an age where you just kind of just took it on the chin. You just went for the chuckles. I think it's far more controversial now than it was back then. It was just, you know, that was back then. We used to watch like Archie Bunker. Like that was some seriously edgy stuff back then. So it was just, we're just coming from the laughs. We're not thinking about it that deep. When you think about the context, like it was like one of the first of its kinds. I want to say this was like, and I may be wrong. I probably have to dip. You have to check, but I want to say this was one of the highest grossest comedies of all time at that time.
Yeah, again, you beat me to it. It's like it was obviously a big enough hit that they made a sequel out of it. I've also never properly watched Police Academy.
Oh yes, that's another one. Like the Police Academies, I would love to see if those holds up because those are my favorite. The Police Academy series back then was my absolute favorite series. You brought up Brazen Saddles, right? And that has like been like the nonstop talk over and over again for years.
You said Brazen Saddles.
Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like been the watermark of can we do this again? And they've asked like numerous people. I think they even asked Mel Brooks. I think they even asked him and he was like, hey, we can't do that no more. It's just way too edgy.
No, I watched it recently and it definitely elicited laughs. It wasn't having me laugh as much as this though. This one, like that was actually what informed kind of my concern with going into this is that I wasn't laughing end to end with Blazing Saddles. I was laughing, but just as like it wasn't all the time. Whereas this, and if it wasn't a laugh, it was at least a big smile of just like the absurdity of it all. What they did great here was the jokes were spaced out in such a way that it gave you a chance to kind of recoup and get ready for the next joke. Like whether it's a few seconds or a minute or whatever, it's like it had a nice rhythm to the humor where it's like it wasn't trying to bombard you, but it wasn't so spread out that it felt stale. And it's like a 90-minute movie, so it's just like you're in and you're out with exactly how much time you need to spend here because comedies can't be too long, generally speaking.
No, I'm with you. 90 is the sweet spot because it's like just when you start getting a little antsy and you see from some of the jokes, they're like, all right, let's go ahead and land this bad boy. Like, let's literally stick the landing.
Yeah. Yeah. What's cool about this for me is that oftentimes when I watch comedies today, like it doesn't really tickle me too much. It's like I get maybe like 2 laughs or a few good laughs out of comedies today. I get more laughs out of like animations or like TV shows, generally speaking. And so to have a movie where I'm like, okay, this had me like chuckling quite a bit. I'm like, that's actually awesome for me because it's like I can share this with everybody. Sometimes I feel like the outsider, like the black sheep, like what's it called? Knocked Up was all right.
Like the biggest OG to me is like Leslie Nielsen. That was my first introduction. And one of the, I'm a super fan of the Police Squad, the Police Squad universe. I didn't watch, obviously I was way too young to watch the series, but that was like in the early 90s, I want to say, when they started doing like Naked Gun. And Leslie Nielsen just absolutely. And then that sparked like the Hot Shot movies. And this like form of comedy, it held for a minute. Like it ran all through the 80s and about halfway through the 90s before there was like a bit of the change up in the comedy style kind of did its own thing.
The jokes about taking things too literally always caught me off guard in this movie. So there's something about like the cockpit and there's a problem in the cockpit. What is it? Oh, it's a thing at the front of the plane. What?
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that old vaudeville kind of comedy. Yeah. Like they had some like that was real close to like the Who's on First bit. It was going back and forth. I still today the most legendary bit of this show was still like I speak jive to me.
I had a lot of fun. I was surprised at how well this held up, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of these classic comedies. I'd love to watch Police Academy or Naked Gun, whatever you guys suggest in the comments below. So hit the subscribe button, please, bell icon, all notifications, vote this up if you're watching this on YouTube, and if you're watching this on Patreon or memberships, thanks so much for supporting us here. I'm Jaby. This is...
Hey, it's your boy Syntell.
Peace out.